could have at least played some Coldplay that like everybody knows.
Oh, come on. A lot of that Coldplay stuff, it's slower, so you got to find
But you
that,
have to like know what song that is. Or
look,
somebody that actually listens to Coldplay, maybe.
Yeah, but say, the real Coldplay listeners, they know. Man, have you been listening to Coldplay like I have this week?
No, Pride Month ended in June.
Man, hot damn. Talk about a bad week for a very wealthy CEO and astronomer or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was that an AI company?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine?
No.
Like, and you were there with other coworkers.
Yeah, you were there with your HR director and other members of the executive team.
I mean, nobody's going to report him to HR.
Yeah, getting all cuddly. And the guy's married with 3 kids. Yeah, not a good look, pal.
No.
But hey, man, another week. Welcome back to the podcast, folks. Episode 63.
Thank you to Comer Distributing.
Yeah. As always, we are drinking the tasty beverage this week is Creature Comforts
Tropical IPA.
Yep.
Tropicalia
IPA. Have you taken a pull yet?
I've taken a sip. It's good. Of course, I have been sweating all day long from going from the committee, then driving the bus around with no AC.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's kind of
cold beer is very refreshing.
It's kind of it is refreshing, but it is an IPA. So, folks, if you like an IPA, check this one out. And when I say that, it's just hoppy on the back end.
Yeah.
Where I enjoy more.
I don't think it's too hoppy. It's not bad.
That was the first pull. So
yeah.
You know how these things. It's like a fine wine. You gotta have another gulp or two and sort of ease you right in there. But yeah, this is the Gene Upshaw episode. Old Raider, episode 63. If you're a football fan, you know. This guy's not a football fan, so I'm just teasing. But yeah, anyway, man, busy week. I ran into you in Columbia.
Yes.
Today you were doing your thing on the insurance ad hoc.
Yes, very very long meeting today.
Hey man, I'm kind of proud of y'all hanging in there for 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
Kind of like the PPM ad hoc where we ran for 8-9 hours. And people were like, "God damn!"
I actually got a text and said, "This is the most boring meeting I've ever seen, except for that PBM ad hoc." But they brought up PBMs too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
They also brought up, the one thing that caught me off guard was as the insurance commission or the director of insurance was talking.
Michael Wise.
He was talking about increasing their educational
to
program. And then he talks about how they went to a school talking to kindergartners, teaching them about insurance. And at that point, I was like, do you really think that's a good use of taxpayer money?
I think you said, Director, sorry to interrupt here. Are you saying that that's a good use of taxpayer dollars to educate kindergartners about insurance? And, I mean,
Yeah, he was like, well, no, that's not the ideal group. Typically high school, but
I thought
we
he
were
said
asked
that was
to come
something
there.
like, that's like a freshman class at Clemson, Zinger.
I like him, though. I got to talk to him whenever we adjourned for lunch for a little bit.
Yeah.
And address some of my questions that I had. Just trying to, things that I didn't realize the Department of Insurance actually handles. There's so much more.
Yeah, and the accountability factor, right? Sort of that enforcement mechanisms that a lot of folks don't consider as part of or falls under the purview of the Department of Insurance. I didn't know either until getting into.
Yeah. I didn't know that they handled bail bondsmen.
Yeah, right. I remember.
You
mentioned that in the committee. I was sitting in the back row. By the way, those are the most uncomfortable chairs.
Was you in the back row?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see you.
Yeah, I couldn't see you, but Jermaine and I. Jermaine was right next to you, but he had a straight line back to me. So when he was asking Director Wise something, and because Director Wise was pouring on some accolades to the state of Alabama about their programs and what they do. Jermaine Johnson says, "Wait a minute, we're trailing Alabama?" He was like, "Are you serious?"
Never trail Alabama.
Well, except for maybe in some SEC football, but Clemson fans don't know anything about that.
Heath is extra feisty because we have a friend here that's a Clemson grad as well. So
guest producing, old Schmitty. Welcome back. He's been a guest on the show before, so
Without brain.
That's right. But yeah, so anyway, I had gone down yesterday. I was speaking with Senator Russell Ott to the Hospital Association. They had sort of a panel discussion that they invited me down to speak on. So I was down there yesterday late afternoon, and then ended up staying, going to a dinner with some folks, again, talking about some other issues with the legislator stuff that we're doing. And then also, this morning, happened to have a meeting with Pharmacy Association, and then I was speaking with the State Chamber of Commerce after that, and all things revolving around drug pricing. PIBA just announced that Express Scripts, who has they're changing over to CVS Caremark.
Yeah.
That does have a lot of independent pharmacists concerned. And then it just so happened that I was meeting with those folks this morning. So we had great discussion about what this change with the Public Employee Benefits Association Administration, what that means come January 1 when CVS Caremark takes over that contract. Just because CVS Caremark, while they're also a PBM, they also, as everyone knows, have retail pharmacies.
Yeah.
And independents are concerned that if the PBM is owned by the same company that's got retail pharmacies, are they going to be steering public employees' drug prescriptions to their retail pharmacies? So it's a legitimate concern, right? That vertical integration.
But how do they award those contracts?
It's public.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's not like somebody scratching someone's back to give them CVS. It was a public meeting that CVS won the bid.
It's a public request for proposals. Yep. And there's some value formula that the department uses, and they awarded it to CVS. So
do you get more weight for owning a pharmacy?
I'm sorry. I know, right? No. So,
no, just kidding.
But again, the vertical integration piece for folks, who haven't listened to the show. When you have an insurance company that owns a PBM that then owns a retail pharmacy, there's some legitimate questions to be asked of, is this a monopoly, right? And so there's been a lot of states out there that have passed PBM reform or insurance reform just in general. Arkansas, Louisiana, I think, are actually battling court cases now because they basically set a state law or passed a state law that said if you are a PBM, you cannot own retail pharmacies in our state.
Mm.
So
that's the reason a lot of CVS is shut down?
They shut down 23 in Arkansas, and now they're suing the state of Arkansas for it, basically saying, hey, you're encumbering on my right to do business. So we'll see how that court battle goes, because we want to introduce some legislation here in our state to reform insurance PBMs to help get some of the 8 middlemen out of this business transaction. When it comes to you're paying your healthcare premiums to your health plan, getting drug prescriptions, why is there folks steering to affiliated pharmacies and that sort of thing? So I heard a lot from independent pharmacies, one right here, Good Pharmacy in Rock Hill. Talked to them a little bit yesterday and today. Got a couple calls from another guy in York that I'm going to have to call back. But again, legitimate concerns about will CVS Caremark be fair and not steer those drug prescriptions to their owned or affiliated pharmacies. So we'll keep you all in the loop on that. And then I also got to talk to the State Chamber of Commerce, their board this morning, probably about 25 people or so on the Zoom meeting. Again, enlightening conversations, business leaders around the state, all talking about some of their frustrations, as I would call it, regarding PBMs, regarding healthcare insurance, where it comes to there being barriers to getting access to healthcare for their employees. And so just a good, robust conversation about that. And again, I told all those business leaders, this is not a race that has a finish line. This is always going to be a process, right? It's always going to be something where if we make reforms that help patients, the businesses that it affects will then change some behaviors and business practices that will then create new problems, and we're going to have to keep, you know what I mean?
That's with everything.
Right. So I just wanted to manage expectations when it comes to the business community.
One of the reasons I wanted to get on the insurance ad hoc committee was our situation with tort reform. Mm-hmm. And, we can go back and look at 2017 and see that obviously there was a problem once we started mandating the $1 million minimum liability.
Yeah, right.
And instead of just being simple and let's remove that.
Let's just go back
let's go back and fix what went wrong. We come up with all new innovative ways and
why don't we just go back to prior to 2017?
Yeah, and look, I understand, but my concern, the revolving question today was whenever government gets involved in insurance, mandating it, regulating it, all of these things, does that not take away the private industry and the capitalism that's actually going to drive it or not?
Similar conversations that I had with independent pharmacists. All right, so let's back up a little bit. Independent pharmacists are right now dispensing drugs to you and your family. Sometimes they're charging you less than what it costs them to get the drug, dispense the drug.
Yeah.
Right? Well, in order to be in the health plan, let's say Blue Cross Blue Shield, because that's the one everyone knows here in this state, in order to be in that network, they have to dispense all the drugs, right? So there are times where pharmacies are operating or dispensing drugs at a loss. Do you know any other business model that could survive with that kind of... Again, there's things that product services
I did it in mulch for a while.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
Unintentionally.
Well, sometimes you can do that to break even.
Yeah.
To get a customer that's then going to come buy something that's got a higher profit margin, and then it settles in at around 15-20%, right? Right. And so what they were, and again, you see this nationwide across many states that are looking at reforming PBMs, is what pharmacists are asking for is, hey, we want a flat rate dispensing fee. So whatever the costs are, plus $20.
Yeah.
Well, that's great for the survival of the pharmacy, but what does that do to overall healthcare costs? Or drug prices, right? So it's like, wait a minute. Healthcare is already rising as it is.
Well, the purpose of insurance should be lowering the cost. Mm-hmm. But yet it's funny that I could actually go to my doctor cheaper and just say cash payment than I would if I have insurance.
Correct. And so back to the pharmacy example. I'm very open and very, I speak frankly. And I was like, guys, you understand as a conservative, what you're asking me to do is help the business of pharmacies by adding, say, $20 per drug that you're dispensing. That's going to raise drug prices, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but independent pharmacies can't survive if we don't.
But is it government's job?
That is, and that's where you get into the role of government. And again, that's the challenge of what we do down at State House, right? Is that all these decisions that you make, and you want to help business, right?
Especially small business.
Correct. You want to help independent practices and all those things, but you got to look at the overall, okay, how is this impact?
And if all the small businesses go away, then the big box stores just charge whatever they want.
Less competition drives up prices, right? And so I think and this is what I told them, I was like, guys, I understand for the immediate or temporary relief, this would help you. Right? This would help sustain, say, a struggling independent pharmacy. But you're not addressing the root cause or the root problem of this. And I think what we have got to get down to is the vertical integration. That should have never occurred to where the insurance company can own a PBM that owns a retail pharmacy. That it should have never been allowed on a federal level. And that is where I think it needs to be addressed. That's where I think state AGs can join together and bring suit against some of these folks as anti-competitive monopolies, right?
Yeah.
And say, look, y'all have got to break yourself up. Like they did with Microsoft back in the 90s. They're just controlling too much of the market, and it is driving up healthcare costs.
Well, they obviously have a strong lobby in D.C.
100%.
Because every time I go up there, the majority of the ads that I'm seeing are either pro or anti-PBM.
Right.
Like, I didn't even really know what a PBM was until
Yeah.
he started talking about it on here. And then at the bus stops and everything, as you're walking by, all you see is these PBM ads.
Yeah. So, and again, for the Clemson grad that's sitting off camera, a PBM is a pharmacy benefit manager. They are folks, again, the where they originated was your health plan, again, in this example, Blue Cross Blue Shield, would farm out the drug pricing negotiations to a pharmacy benefit manager. They would then go to a drug wholesaler or a drug manufacturer and say, hey, look, we represent Blue Cross Blue Shield. We have 500,000 lives is what they call it, or consumers that we're bringing. We are going to run all of our drug prescriptions, and we want to purchase from you.
But you have to meet these prices.
And for that volume discount, for that volume buy that they're bringing, they're going to get a discount, what they call drug rebates. And it's a whole... No, it's federally. And so, and this stuff is, again, where PBMs originated to where they are now has drastically changed. And so I think we need to, and again, a lot of other states agree, we need to look at that model and see how we can make some changes to where we're impacting drug prices and bringing them down, but then also empowering the consumer to be able to go to whatever pharmacies is most convenient for them. So there's a lot of work left to be done. We had a lot of good testimony in our PBM meetings and stuff back when we were in session. And look for about 5 to 7 bills to be introduced in the off season. Hopefully they'll be pre-filed right across the desk first week of January when we get back in, and probably a couple will go to your committee over at Labor, Commerce, and Industry, and then a couple will probably come over to 3M, fall into medical, and let's see if we can get some stuff accomplished there. So. So yeah, man, it was interesting that we're out of session, but we both found ourselves in Columbia today. So yeah, another thing that we're going to be talking about in the next segment is South Carolina governor's race.
Yes,
a lot of folks getting in. We did have our Lieutenant Governor Pam Vivette officially announced.
Yep.
So that brings the
raised $1 million in 24 hours.
Yeah. So that officially is 3 now, with Senator Kimbrell, Attorney General Alan Wilson, and our Lieutenant Governor Pam Vivette, and then also our very own Congressman is set to announce here in a few days,
on Sunday,
that he plans to get in the race as well. So,
are you going to be attending that?
No, I'm going out of town.
Yeah.
So I'll be last sort of family beach vacation, long weekend. So I won't be here for that, but I'm sure.
You'll have a good crowd.
A lot of our community leaders and friends will be there. So,
and I want to attend every gubernatorial candidate that comes up into York County. I want to attend their events.
Yeah. Well, and we got to have them on.
Yeah.
Even if we got to go to them or whatever, I think it'll be good to get them talk about their vision.
None of this call-in stuff, though.
No.
We haven't figured that one out.
No. So we'll pick that up in depth in the next segment, and we'll be right back. This episode of Pints of Politics is brought to you by Comer Distributing. Comer Distributing Company is a wholesale beer distributor located in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Founded in 1971, Comer is a family-owned business that distributes beer and other beverages to York, Chester, Fairfield, Lancaster, Kershaw, Lexington, and Richland counties. Oldie but goodie.
You know, driving and crying. Aren't they a local band?
Local enough for me?
No, I think they're from around here. Aren't they from like Lancaster?
I don't know, are they?
Yeah, I think they are.
Hell, I listened to them down in Somerville.
Yeah.
Loved them, man, back in high school.
Oh, I mean, Somerville was a little bit more redneck back then. It wasn't all bougie the way it is now.
Yeah, that's right. So, man, let's get into this governor's race. We have 3 officially announced, and Senator Josh Kimbrell, Lieutenant Governor Pam Vivette just jumped in, and Alan Wilson, our Attorney General. It's expected that Ralph's going to announce this weekend here in Rock Hill. And there's still another candidate out there, a 5th, that, I think she's been pretty vocal and that's Congressional District 1, Nancy Mace. She has talked about running for governor. Think she's in?
Yeah.
80-20 or 100%?
I think 100% she's in.
Okay. Yeah, I do too. But, I heard some rumors maybe she switches gears and goes for the Senate.
No, I think that if I were her and you're in a congressional seat, do you give it up to, and she's not at the term limit, so to say, as like Ralph is, right?
Yeah, right.
So she doesn't have a reason to leave unless she is not currently happy with the people who are running. Now, there's other names such as Ron Reddy might get in.
Yeah.
Sean Bennett might get in.
Yep.
And this brings me back to whenever Nikki Haley ran for governor.
Right. Crowded field,
and everybody said, "Oh, she does not stand a chance."
Right.
Little house rep.
Yep. But
right.
Ran around the state, worked her ass off,
and ended up kicking everybody's tail. She got the Sarah Palin endorsement, and that was the end of it. So it's too early to call, but of course you got the polls coming out.
Yeah, and let's talk about some of these polls. There was just a recent poll from American Pulse that showed Alan Wilson with 27%, followed by Nancy Mace, who hasn't even officially gotten in yet, at 17.5%. Our very own Lieutenant Governor Pam Yvette with 11%, and our Congressman Ralph Norman at 9.7%, and followed up by State Senator Josh Kimbrell at 4%. But I think the biggest indicator of this poll is there's about 25% of folks who are undecided.
Yeah.
So that speaks to what you were just talking about. This thing it's very, very early. There's a lot of folks who need to, educate themselves about the field. So yeah, I think it's anyone's race to win. Another poll. Oh wow, this is interesting. All right, let me give you another poll.
I wouldn't jump in right away and endorse anyone. I like all the candidates to begin with.
Yeah, I think they all have their strengths.
Yeah.
Right.
I could see every single one of them being governor and doing a good job in their own right.
Yeah.
Or their own lane, should I say.
Hey, let's talk about Fitz News for a second here. They had a survey out and reported that, here's another poll, Alan Wilson with almost 23%, Nancy Mace again in second at 17.5%, Norman at a distant third at 9.3%, and our Lieutenant Governor Yvette, at 8.4%. Yeah, so the number's a little all over the place.
Yet, Yvette raised $1 million in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And she's using, Trump's consulting group.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
See, that's just like old Swampy Guffey to know that kind of stuff. But it does, one common theme in these polls is that the top three are our current Attorney General, our current Lieutenant Governor, and our current District 1 Congress lady, Nancy Mace. So with Kimbrell and our District 5 Congressman Ralph Norman in fourth and fifth.
Now, I think Ralph jumps up once he announces.
Yeah.
Because so many people have thought that he's not really running. And I think I see a path of Ralph carrying upstate. The heavy Freedom Caucus districts, I don't think would be too much of a problem for him.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of the grandfather of the South Carolina Freedom Caucus. I mean, he was there whenever they announced the formation of the caucus.
Yeah, and so just a little backdrop of that for the folks who don't really get into politics that much, and that's a lot of folks. Just look at the voter turnouts over the last couple elections. Ralph Norman, our congressman, is a member of the United States Freedom Caucus, which is the national group.
And I don't put them in the same category as our disingenuous South Carolina Freedom Caucus.
Freedom Caucus, right. So, and again, maybe it's just one of those things where it's the major leagues and then the minor leagues, and, it's just not
they have
as...
T-ball in the major leagues. There's a difference. It ain't even coach pitch. It might be. Evan Newman might be coach pitching. I'm telling him what.
Evan Newman. But anyway, so he is, on a federal level in a Freedom Caucus, and they decided that they would start individual state chapters, right? And so Ralph came down and helped start that he's not really a part of the South Carolina Freedom Caucus as an official member.
No.
R.J. May, the guy who just got charged and arrested for child sex
abuse.
Yep. He was the founder of the South Carolina Freedom Caucus.
Him and Adam Morgan were the two guys there.
Yep. And so if that doesn't sort of give you an idea of where some of the, I don't know, as the JV or the minor league, as you said, coach.
No, I mean, I think if Ralph was working with these guys day in, day out, I think he would see exactly what we see. I would like to think so.
Yeah.
I've always been very supportive of Ralph, and I think that he would see through the disingenuousness. But he's not in there the way we are.
Yeah, correct. He's not there day to day. He doesn't see it.
Right.
But, again, I was a little bit dismayed when I saw, I think it was South Carolina Freedom Caucus member Thomas Beach, where recently we had a bridge collapse over in Pickens County, and I think it was Representative Beach and also Representative Jackie Terrabeal out of TKK, District 66, that took full advantage of a bridge collapsing. Now again, hold on, let me tell that, and then you give the context. And I didn't even know this bridge collapsed, but when I checked social media, the Freedom Caucus was already putting it out there that it's because I guess we're spending too much money on pork in our budget, and that's why this bridge collapsed. And I was like, when did this happen? And it was literally a few hours, and they were already making political hay out of it. Again, they can do that. It's their right to do that. But I think it demonstrates,
never let a good opportunity go to waste mentality is what it demonstrates.
Yeah, so, and I thought,
or a good tragedy go to waste, should I say.
The good thing is there wasn't a loss of life. It was just a bridge going down, the inconvenience of folks being redirected and all that kind of stuff. Now, I thought you did a good job because you then texted out again about what really happened. So, and tell the two listeners.
And look, I don't normally reply, even if I disagree with my congressman. I don't normally reply to his post.
Okay, so all right, let me wrap that up.
Yeah.
So when those two South Carolina Freedom Caucus members posted about the bridge collapse and then took advantage and made some political hay out of it to score some cheap points, then Congressman Ralph Norman retweets it.
Yes.
Right, or shares. And
shared Thomas's post.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man. So I was a little disappointed in that decision. Again, that may not be him, right? He may have staff. Yeah. And so,
and like I said,
they have budgets for staff on the federal level, which
it's only $1 million.
Yeah. And so again, that may have been something that just staff thought they needed to do. No indictment on Ralph himself, but I was like, gosh, here we go. But it is that season, right? It is that time where, especially if he's going to be announcing for governor, he's going to want to stay in,
getting support in all these areas. And look, there's no doubt about it that Ralph has Freedom Caucus support, Ralph has Republican Caucus support within members. So it's not as if it's just a Freedom Caucus thing, Republican Caucus thing, right?
So how do you see it right now, this race, as far as where do, and again, it's early, but I definitely see Ralph being sort of on the right.
He's going to be on the Freedom Caucus.
He's going to be on that right side.
Yeah, I think Allen's going to be the law enforcement, law and order guy. I think Pam's going to be the pro-business. I think Josh is going to be the Nikki Haley type that people might think doesn't stand a chance.
Small government.
But might get out and surprise a lot of people.
And Nancy Mace is just break shit.
And I think, I think Nancy's strength, let me put it this way. I think Nancy, like myself, her biggest asset is also her biggest crutch, and that's some of the comments. But I think that people like that she is bold, and just says it.
Yeah.
Like, no one's ever accused me of utilizing ChatGPT before I put something out. Or AI, right? I'm going to be myself.
Or just any sort of filter. Right?
Yeah.
It's
so, and I think that just like Trump, and ultimately, I believe that this race as with the previous races over the past decade, boil down to social media presence. Nobody has the social media presence that Nancy has, and people can say, oh, well, she says this is crazy and everything. It doesn't matter. Whenever she does speak, people listen.
Yeah.
It doesn't take but one good thing, and whenever you come hitting hard with a message, I mean, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
She might seem the most extreme, but she raises the most money and the hardest to beat in Congress.
Well, and again, a lot of these elections, and you're not able to sort of diagnose what was going on until post, right?
Yeah.
Until after the election. So we'll see come June. I think it's June 9th is our primary date next year in 26. And so we'll be able to sort of see what the trends are. But I agree with you. A lot of times, especially in today's politics, it's the loudest voice. Sometimes it's the most ridiculous or the most outrageous things that are being said that catches the headlines, gets the media attention. And a lot of times that's what puts their name out there. It gets name recognition, especially in a statewide race. And that is important, right?
It's whenever you post your feet in the back of a van and say what you want, I'm getting free candy.
Oh, here we go.
Right?
I don't know whose van that was.
It wasn't even my feet.
But, so yeah, I mean.
But I do want to go back to what I was saying. Like, I don't typically reply to my congressman. Even if I disagreed on something, it would be something I'd want to have a conversation with. But the resharing of Thomas's post, which was false. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Mm-hmm. For one, we had a couple $100 million in this year's budget specifically for bridges in addition to the DOT budget.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that the money for this bridge and a press release issued on July 17th, a few days before the bridge failure, was saying that they were thankful for the funding to replace these bridges. And this bridge was one of the ones that was on the schedule.
That was slated to...
and it had been knocked down to...
They had posted...
They put weight restrictions. Just like whenever they did it by my shop.
Yeah.
And being a CDL driver, you being a company that deals with CDL drivers, you have to map out all that stuff.
Yeah, you got to have an approved route.
Right.
And so
but there's no excuse.
But we also know truck drivers.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go off
I was using Waze.
They go off the planned route. And so, that's the context of what we were speaking
But that's what caused the failure of the bridge.
Yeah.
Was overweighted concrete trucks going over it that were well above the weight limit. That caused the failure, not a lack of funding. Now, DOT has been severely underfunded up until recently.
Yep.
We've got a new director. We've got a new, I also find it very funny. We've got this new ad hoc committee, and some of the ideas that we've put out there, all of a sudden, the Freedom Caucus is trying to get out in front of it.
They are posting much more about the
roads.
ideas that we talked about in our DOT initial meeting. But some of the stuff that they're promoting has already been tried. And it failed. Like, it didn't work. Turning.
I mean, do you want the lieutenant governor over roads?
Turning.
Like, what experience?
It sounds great to say, hey, let's turn state roads over to the local government, right? And let them deal with them and all that kind of stuff. Here's the problem. We've already done that, and we let local governments, county governments opt in. You know how many?
They're not going to opt in.
You know how many counties volunteered or stepped up and said, hey, we'll take over these state roads?
Yeah.
For those of y'all just listening, I got a big
I go just the opposite. I agree with that statement because I brought it up. Being from county council and the amount of roads, it was a whole lot easier, as government often does, works best closest to the people.
Yep.
So allow the county, even if that's us giving the funding to the county, but they can fix things a whole lot cheaper than SCDOT can.
Well, and hopefully faster too, right? More efficiently. And so, and that's some of the ideas that we're going to kick around.
I mean, the gas tax.
Yeah. But that's going to demand that we change the funding formulas, right? So whether it's coming from the state, C funds, all those types of things, that's what we're going to be considering in this DOT ad hoc. That's another ad hoc that you're on.
Yeah.
And look forward to that work. So that's the Republican side. Let's talk about the Democratic side.
Talking about the guy that went streaking?
Yeah.
What's the guy? What was the guy who did the? Oh yeah, they call it the streak.
I thought that was Will Ferrell's character in Old School.
Oh, it was, but it was Ray Stevens, the old country singer. They used to do the infomercials.
So
What's that? The squirrel went berserk.
yeah. Oh yeah. So on the Democrat side,
Yeah.
there is a gentleman by the name of Mullins McLeod, who is a prominent South Carolina attorney. You and I, not being lawyer legislators, we don't know this guy. And I did enjoy Fitz News's tweet this past week where, and I'll just read it verbatim, mere weeks after appearing to experience some sort of psychotic break, prominent South Carolina attorney Mullins McLeod is mounting a campaign for governor of South Carolina after all. What?
Afterward.
I don't even know what the psychotic break was.
I would imagine that's what you call it whenever you go streaking downtown Charleston.
Yeah, I don't know. And again,
I mean, I just call it a good night.
Mental.
Some people call it a mental breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, and we're laughing, we're making jokes here. I don't know what that issue was, but he was naked, running around downtown. Hopefully, and I'm saying hopefully, maybe he, took a bad drug. I don't know. It had a bad trip.
I mean, that's not very good for your governor.
Hey,
I took a bad drug.
I'm not saying that it is, but maybe that CBD gummy was a little higher milligram than what he anticipated. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to disparage the guy, but it is a rough out of the gates for Mullins McLeod. But he has voiced his intent to join the race. And also a friend of ours, Jermaine Johnson.
Yep.
Is a member of the LCI committee.
Dr. J.
Yep. He is also on the PBM ad hoc committee. And, folks, we'll let you in a little bit. Jermaine Johnson's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy. He's a Democrat. We're Republicans. And
we don't always agree on stuff, but he's
dogs
definitely
and
a
cats.
Yeah.
But and we don't agree on everything, but we do agree on some things.
Yeah.
And he is a good partner to have on, especially when it comes to PBM issues. He's all about it. So he has launched an exploratory.
Typically likes less government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has launched.
He always tries to make me feel small though by hugging me and staying right beside of me.
Folks, if y'all don't know who Jermaine Johnson is, go check him out. Go look up on his Facebook
I come up to his
page or
armpit,
whatever.
maybe.
But I think he's 6'5.5".
He's taller than that.
And 6'5.5". That's without his heels. But no, really, he's 6'7". But he played at the College of Charleston. Played some basketball. Maybe a little bit of pickleball too, I think.
I heard he beat up on Brewer pretty bad.
Chris Murphy, yeah. That was really just Seth. But anyway, Jermaine Johnson has launched an exploratory committee, so we'll see where that goes. Maybe he gets in as well. We will update the audience on that. So maybe there will be a Democratic primary of at least 2. And then we'll have a 5-wide Talladega style on the Republican side.
What does an exploratory committee do?
I think you run around and talk to communities around the state and raise money. And if you can raise, while you're in those communities raising money.
But you can, once you raise, then you have to file. You only have the 10 days
to
file after you raise.
Look, this is the swamp talking. Yeah. And I don't know all these rules.
That's called campaign ethics. That's what that is.
I have someone who does that.
Yeah.
Look, they know I have no plans on running for governor. So
how many are in?
So
I've been exploring. I just can't get nobody to donate to me. That's the problem. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So it looks like there's going to be 2 in the Democratic primary, and right now
Who's going Team America?
I don't know. It appears that there's going to be 5 in the Republican. So. And this being a Republican majority state, a lot of times folks look at that Republican primary as basically, but who knows? This may be a different year, different race. We'll see how that lines out. And I'm only saying that because, and again, I don't know Mullins McLeod, but I know Jermaine, and maybe he can cross over right in certain areas of the state, because there's times where Jermaine is talking with us and voting with the Republican caucus. And he's a relationship guy. He has a lot of relationships with the Freedom Caucus. And so there may be opportunities where he crosses over on policy issues that swings voters. Especially
it's nothing uncommon. I mean, Democrat and Freedom Caucus voted a lot together this year.
This is true. Just check the board. But so again, it's early. It is very, very early. So we'll see. 26 is going to be a wild year. You got anything that you're looking to do?
I want to eliminate the regulation of deer in South Carolina.
Yeah.
That was brought up in the insurance committee. We talked about that our freshman year. Like, why does the state regulate how many deer you can kill whenever we have all of these communities being overran by them? We've got all of these accidents. You pay higher automobile insurance in rural areas because of deer.
Look at you learning something.
I am. Like, it drives me crazy. Every time I hear this about deer, a deer's nothing but a rat that's a little bit taller. Like,
but it tastes good.
I don't eat it. So donate it.
Yeah.
Be done with it.
So what are some of the bigger ticket items? When I was sitting in the panel discussion yesterday, room full of hospital folks, physicians, and that was one of the things that Senator Russell Ott and I talked about was, what do you think are going to be some of the bigger ticket items that just the everyday citizen of South Carolina can expect the General Assembly will tackle come?
I think the most beneficial one, other than like you talking about with the healthcare and drug costs, like those are going to affect everyone.
Yeah.
Right? And those are the ones where you're not going to get like a lot of accolades about, or it's not something you put on a mailer that everybody's like, woo, that's what I want. It's kind of like fixing potholes.
But I'm fine with
right?
that. Yeah.
But it's going to benefit the citizens the best. The one that I think was the one that we were really, I was putting a hard push on trying to get passed last year, and that was the elimination and sunsetting of regs.
Oh, right.
And that is just sitting in the Senate Judiciary without a hearing. We passed it already in the House. I think that, and of course, we've still got our tax reform bill.
Yeah.
I disagree that income tax reform was most important. Mm-hmm. I even mentioned Josiah was talking about property taxes today. And I mentioned about Act 388. And maybe him and I can work together on a solution to try to reform 388. Now, that is a big ask.
Right.
And that's probably something that one person that's a Tom Davis move, where you're going to come in and work on something for 4 years to get it done,
Yep. And a lot of things that I think are going to be the big ticket items, and I'm just going to go rapid fire here. We saw some push about a casino bill.
I don't see that passing.
I'm not saying that, but I see that coming back up. Right?
Yeah.
I definitely think that casino...
If you have a Republican majority in South Carolina,
yeah,
and the Republican platform literally states that it is against gambling casinos.
Right.
I don't see how you vote for it and keep your seat.
Well, we talked about this as a York County delegation where the gentleman that was, I think, pushing this effort tried to help the Catawbas, and it didn't go well. That relationship is soured, and being that the Catawbas are right here in York County and Lancaster County, we would never support something where we basically picked a winner of who could build a casino, right? And that bill ran against everything I think that we hold sort of value-wise, that we're picking winners and losers, we're allowing casino gambling, and all those types of things.
I think on an Indian reservation, you should be able to do what you wish.
Right. Yeah, they should be able to self-determine.
I think that they should be able to.
Here's another one that I saw.
I don't want gambling because I know what it did to York County.
Yeah, so here's another one that I'd be interested to see and hear the debate on. Online sports gambling.
I'm good with that.
Me too.
Because basically, especially
folks,
where we are, it's VPN or you're driving right across the border. And then we're missing out on the tax revenue, which could lower other taxes.
Yep.
And it's really more of a game of skill. So you start talking about fantasy football, you are playing against 5 to 6 other people, and you're picking. There's not a house. You're not playing against the house. You're playing in those 5 or 6 people, and it's no different than just.
Well, and here's another thing.
Just the skill.
The principle of that we can run a state-funded or state-run lottery, but private folks, then we say, oh, no, you can't gamble.
Yeah.
You don't have credibility, in my opinion. And so I think that we are losing out on those tax dollars, those tax revenues that could then lower some other things, whether it's residential property tax, business property taxes. And then, folks, if you are opposed to online sports gambling, go Google search it in North Carolina. Go see what that legislation that they passed, I believe it was a year, 2 ago maybe, and they have seen
hundreds of millions
gambling revenues of it's astronomical. And here's another thing. I want the online sports gambling bill, if we were to pass it, I want to put it to where it's funding in athletics programs for medium to small schools, right? Not the Clemsons, the Carolinas, but the Winthrops, the smaller, the Coastals, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I want them to be able to start competing.
So you want us to take the tax revenue to buy athletes for small schools? That's what NIL does.
No. I said the athletic programs to fund them.
Yeah, I don't want to fund them at all.
Because
they should be able to fund themselves, or they don't need to have it.
I know, but then they're going to go by the wayside.
If you can't, but they need to go by the wayside. If they're not selling enough tickets to fund the program, they don't need to do it. That's not the taxpayer's job to pay for you to play around like you're riding on a broken horse or whatever these college athletic.
I know, and we shouldn't give money to our major universities.
I agree,
but we do.
No, and I want to stop a lot of that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in the current reality that we live in now, that you voted on a budget
you got enough
gave
donors.
money to Clemson and Carolina.
I mean,
you voted for a budget. They gave money for tuition mitigation. Did you not? Okay. All right. So I'm just saying.
I don't like the tuition mitigation.
But you voted for it. All I'm saying is, but in that current reality, in order for the Winthrops to compete, because right now our Winthrop basketball program struggles to bring in the athletes like a High Point, right, who has a benefactor up there, right, and they're running the league. I want
so maybe Winthrop should produce better benefactors.
Well, the history of Winthrop is it's a teacher college, okay, so we're behind the 8 ball on that, but the way the North Carolina model ran.
I thought only Pikes graduated from Winthrop.
Yeah. So if I don't know. I didn't go to Winthrop. But my point is, part of those revenues, not all of them, part of those revenues should go to help small to medium schools with their athletics, to support the athletic programs, not NIL deals. I didn't mean to misspeak like that because you were like, woo. To support the athletic programs. Now,
I don't think that we should be supporting the athletic program.
Yeah. What about the universities? The medium to small.
Let's stick on sports now. Period.
And I'm just trying.
Hold on. Dawn Staley makes how much money a year?
I have no idea. And look, I'm looking at online gambling, just trying to keep someone.
I know, but I'm just using this as an example.
And that's what North Carolina.
Dawn Staley makes an astronomical amount as a coach. She's the best.
Yeah.
You want her here, right? But does USC women's basketball generate revenue or not? And the answer has been no.
Yeah.
Why is it the taxpayer's job if you can pay a coach millions of dollars and still lose money? And this is the number 2 school of business in the country, right?
And earns every bit of it.
All right. So my point being, as a business owner, do you hire a CEO for $4 billion a year to where you are losing money?
$4 million?
Yeah.
Okay.
$4 million a year. And you are not generating a profit, your other employees are being paid for to get there by donors through NIL programs and sponsorships for the most part. And the only thing that you're really giving is scholarships, and you have to do ticket sales that should be able to pay for that person running the program. And if you're losing money, how does that make sense?
I would be interested to find out what ticket sales are, right? I don't know if the women's basketball program loses money. I have no idea.
I think whenever I asked, I was told yes, it loses money.
All I know is, so let's take not just.
And look, as a Clemson fan, I actually I never enjoyed women's basketball, period.
Correct. Go to the Carolina.
But I enjoy going to a Lady Gamecock basketball game. Right. It's a good atmosphere.
Yep.
Dawn Staley's one of the best. Mm-hmm. You know some of the best athletes are coming out there. But if it's losing money, we shouldn't be funding it.
Yeah, so I don't know the numbers on that. Just like the WNBA, we just had the WNBA All-Star game where they came out and said, pay us what we're owed or whatever. Again, I do think it's funny that in the WNBA you got more eyeballs watching that stuff. You got a bigger market. That the Michael Jordan of the WNBA is making $75,000, $78,000. Come on, man. And for the NBA commissioners and those execs to tell us,
just turning into an equality.
No. This is dollars and cents. All I'm saying is that the folks who are paying these women athletes are saying, "Oh no, it ain't making money." Come on, man. So what I'm saying is, I don't know.
But in this case, this is the taxpayers of South Carolina paying
correct.
these athletes.
I have no idea if the Lady Gamecock basketball team, right? I don't know what their ticket sales are. I don't know what the merchandise is. You know what I mean? There's a lot of revenue streams that come from that team.
I think but even Clemson.
But in general, I think football programs at large pay for
many
entire
other programs.
budgets of all college athletics, right?
Okay.
For the most part.
Well, and that's fine. But if they are operating at a loss, there's no reason we should be giving that university money so they can pay a Dabo Sweeney, a Dawn Staley, or anybody else these outrageous contracts whenever the purpose of school is education.
Right.
Not sports.
I voted no on the budget. You voted yes on the budget.
You're the reason the bridge failed. What are you talking about? And you just wanted trainees in the girls' bathrooms. Hey. That's all it was.
Yeah, right. I let you just keep talking like I didn't know for much. But yeah, I mean, but again, if we got way off track. The online sports gambling bill. That I'm hoping that comes up.
I don't want any additional funding for universities. If anything, it needs to be cut. Period.
But I voted for the budget. You are
there were so many good things.
I know.
But yes, I certainly want to cut a lot of the funding that is going to universities because I believe, look at our budget and look at the amount that it is.
Look, dude, we're getting way off track.
Yeah.
I agree. I think we could cut spending by a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, look at when we went to make our final budget vote, we didn't know that there was an additional $300 and some odd million of recurring money.
Yeah.
That was the surplus. Then there was another 600 some odd of one-time non-recurring money that came in. So we almost had $1 billion surplus. And then you ask the fundamental questions. Wait a minute, and we're giving universities money, or we're taxing?
There's certain things, just like USC, like we've seen, like the AI lab. We've seen the programs that they are innovating. I understand things like that are going to take a little bit to get off the ground.
Yeah.
Right? I understand we want, look, I'm the poster child for the people saying you ain't from here.
Yeah.
Like we want our local kids going to these universities first.
Right.
But there's also a cost factor there. To whereas every time government starts subsidizing something, the rates seem to go through the roof.
Yeah.
And yet we're holding those rates at the same while the schools are making more and more. There's got to be a point where it's just cut off. Give the taxpayers back their money. Let them decide if they want to send their kid to a school at the rate that it is.
At whatever the market rate is for,
why are we subsidizing it, for one? For two, whenever we are funding things that are going, and then you see the athletic programs and the way, I don't want to say waste of money because I understand the return on investment.
Yeah.
But it's not our money to invest. This is the state taxpayers' money. And I don't want all of that money continuing to fund large contracts for athletics.
I agree. Look, when you have $1 billion surplus, it's very hard to sit and talk to your voters and say,
but Dabo don't go nowhere. We'll find private donors. New Spring is still around.
God, you always say that.
That's always been the rumor. New Spring funds Clemson.
I don't even know who New Spring is.
Just like the Diamond and Platinum clubs fund USC. Like, that's the only reason y'all get student athletes, right?
I have no idea. I don't even know what New Spring. I don't know what.
And Comer Street.
Don't act like you don't know what Diamond and Platinum Club is.
I didn't go there.
Virginia Cut.
Is that a place in Clemson?
No, it's Tiger Tail.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
you go to SO and then you go.
They're always named after some gym.
No, but fundamentally, you have recurring surpluses year after year in the hundreds of millions of dollars. I think it's time that we recalibrate spending, right?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. Now, is there opportunities best served at looking at how we fund universities? Is it roads and bridges? Whatever it is, I'm up for that discussion. I just wanted to talk about online, just the issue of online sports gambling. If it comes up, I think I'd vote for. I'd be okay with that.
I'm okay with it as long as it's not going to universities.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly, with the lottery, I don't understand why a single citizen pays to go to college in South Carolina.
Well,
Like
it's
that-
it's government run, so it's inefficient.
Yeah, I mean, but that is what, and if it's not working that way, then that money needs to go to K through 12.
Well-
and let's quit all these school bonds.
Yeah, correct. And you remember, so I was class of '95 at Somerville when the Palmetto Life Scholarship came in. It was a year behind me, so I didn't get it. But I remember
I think I was in 6th grade.
when that issue came up for a vote. I remember what it was sold as: free college.
Yeah.
Right.
I got $1,500.
Correct. It turned out to be it was $1,500. Here's
But
the
$1,500, whereas college only used to cost $5,000.
Yeah. Here's another thing.
You can't even go to York Tech for that. hardly
Folks,
now.
go look at the Palmetto Life Scholarship and how much unused money sits in there every year.
Because of the way that it has to be done.
That's what I mean. And so, there's hundreds of millions of dollars of untapped funds.
Look, I've said this, and
Because of
we-
the
we-
eligibility
we've got Smitty here. We've
being
got
able to
you
use it.
here.
Yeah.
And I've often said it. It's not an income disparity or a race disparity that we have. It is the lack of knowledge. And like where I was raised
100%.
with my family, my mom didn't graduate high school. My stepdad was GED grad.
Yeah.
Like nobody's going to college. I don't know anything about grants. Like you talk about.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
So it's crazy. My sister was texting me today. Like, my nephew's at Clemson, and she's got his bill. It's $9,000.
$9,000 for Clemson.
A semester.
Versus last year was 19.
$19,000 last year.
And now he's accepted in the program. He's on campus. All this stuff.
Oh,
And
wow.
It's like
What's the difference?
he's on campus, and like she sent me all these screenshots. I'm like, what the?
Doesn't make any
It
sense.
makes no damn sense.
Man,
I'm like, why?
so $20,000 a semester at Clemson for him last year, and it's almost $10,000 a semester this year at Clemson.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's tuition and room and board. Is that everything?
Well, we talk
That's
about
everything?
money following the child.
Yeah.
How about money following the child to college? How much are we paying per pupil, and how much is the return on investment of
This
that
kid
degree?
He's done everything correct. He's done everything correct. Like how you
Except,
should go
but
through
except
this
for his
system.
choice in colleges. Sorry.
Go Tigers. But, yeah.
I mean, he went as an architect. So
No, but
you
again-
don't
Went
really
undeclared and then
transferred into it as an
Okay,
architect. But
so-
you don't get much better than Clemson in that.
No,
They're Tigers.
100%. But so again, online sports gambling, if that were to come up, again, don't worry about the revenues and where those go. But I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Because I do think it's already going on. As you said earlier, the VPN stuff, people in South Carolina utilizing VPNs to do that. We might as well capture that here.
Well, and I don't see it. I don't see the same harm in it as video poker and these slot machines, and
Yep.
and
Another
the
one-
crime does not follow.
Yeah, another one that is going to, I think, come up because I've been discussing it with some folks is medical age of consent.
That needs to change.
Right now it's 16, raising that to 18. And again, I think this sort of idea came out of all the gender affirming care stuff that we experienced back in 20 through 24. And so just being able to say that, look, if you're a child, if you're a minor, you cannot go and get medical procedures without your parents
Right.
being involved in that decision, right? Especially permanent ones. So that's probably going to come up. Again, some of the nuances of that, it sounds really easy, but what happens when a child who is a minor, say 16, 17 years old, experiencing a mental health issue, and the parent is the one that's
saying rub some dirt on it, or the parent's causing it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's sexual abuse or whatever. So there's those types of nuances that you got to consider. And man, that's why this job gets difficult.
Yeah, but
But
you
again,
can just put it to life-altering care.
you just got to do,
You know?
a carve out exceptions, those types of things. So
Yeah.
that's probably going to be something that our committee will.
And then we're going to have to deal with each individual hospital doing their policy.
Yeah.
Like I just had to deal with Atrium, who's to get certified for the high school sports, being Atrium up here, since they're based in North Carolina, they asked a lot of gender-related questions, which the high school league does not ask, but they put that on their high school medical forms, which a lot of parents that are up here that fall in the Atrium area are concerned about and saying, why is the high school league forcing this? And it's like, they're not. This is Atrium Hospital because they're in North Carolina, just using the same form for North Carolina to South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So, you got to deal with the individual hospitals because we can't force them not to ask questions unless we're going to write a law specifically just about that.
And lastly, what do you think is going to happen with the pay raise? You know, that's something that we dealt with this year.
I think it's up to the judges.
Budget, the judges. So currently,
if they kick it out, I think that we will pass a bill to truly, it will be in pay. And where Wes Clymer thought that he was saving money, it will end up costing the taxpayers $300+ million because now they're going to have to pay for retirement because it's going to go into pay instead of going into in-district or per diem.
Quick primer on that. Folks, the reason why we have in-district and where some of this stuff occurred 25 or so years ago, folks wanted to raise the pay a little bit, found that if we raised the salary, it would then impact retirement packages for folks.
Yeah.
So they said, let's make an in-district, $1,000. And so that way it will offset some costs that we, we spend when we're running around.
Good intentions, but it's going to be very costly for the state.
Correct. And so again, that $1,000 in-district has been in place for 25 years. The attempt this past year was to put 1,500 additional, so take that from 1,000 to 2,500. Obviously, with the same intent, so it would not balloon into 25, 30, 40, $50 million impact to a budget. It would only be, $3 million?
Yes, $3 million.
And that's what got thrown out by the Supreme Court. Or they stayed.
Not just that.
They stayed.
They went ahead and pulled out the additional, the $12,000 that was already there as well.
Yes.
So that's already pulled too. So instead of it being a pay raise, it ends up being a $12,000 cut.
Yep. So send your complaints to Senator Lieber. You can find his office address on the State House website.
and for those of you that want to blame Senator Clymer, it's not his fault. He's not wrong in his assessment of it.
You cannot give yourself a pay raise while you're sitting. It's got to be after an next election.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with what he's saying. There's nothing wrong with Lieber saying that legislators are not paying enough.
I agree.
We voted against the pay raise.
Yeah.
It just come down to the budget vote. I wasn't going to shut down the most conservative budget in 20 years over a $3 million expenditure I disagreed with.
Or all the funding for student mitigation.
Yeah.
For higher ed.
Yeah.
Swamp. But seriously, so the pay raise is going to be interesting because, man, now the money that when we ran, we thought we were getting.
Not even getting that.
Yeah, so July 1 was the fiscal new year.
So you got the 10-4, and then you had the 12 that was in-district expenses.
Yep.
So if you didn't spend anything, your pay was 24.
Gross. Yep.
Right.
And now it is 10-4.
And net, that comes out to about $3,800, I think is what it was. For 6 months.
Right. So yeah, and I do think Ways and Means, that committee and that staff will go back to work. They're already back to work. And that's so funny, man. Like, we consider it the off season, but they're already starting to work on budgets for next year.
JMSC's already going.
Yep, JMSC. Now we got the new rules this year, right?
Yep.
So that's going to be, wow. Man, we're going to be busy next year, and it's election year. So,
who are you voting for? No, I'm just kidding.
Stop. But yeah, so judicial elections will be big this year. And I just think the budget. I think budget, especially in an election year. I think folks like you and I will be running for re-election. I think now is the time that we're finding our voices too, and we're fiscal conservatives. We've looked at that budget before, like, do we really need all that?
And we're not on Ways and Means,
yeah.
But
and I was going to say the same thing. We
but
don't know
I
what
think
they know.
that our generation, and as with any big ship, takes a little bit of turning.
Yeah.
Just like you know, jokingly, you were talking about me voting for tuition mitigation. I don't agree with it, but whenever we cut earmarks and the budget that we had, it's kind of like, okay, well, this is a good step in the right direction.
Yeah.
We can address something else next year.
Yeah. So
right. And ultimately, I look at things as we have to be pragmatic. I'm used to having more extreme ideas and knowing that I'm not going to get the people on my side right away, but I want to get it as close to what I can that will actually pass.
You have read Trump's Art of the Deal.
No.
You go out and just...
No, I just learned on county council whenever I said I don't believe in zoning at all, that everyone was like, who is this crazy guy? I was like, government can't tell you what you can build.
Chickens,
Why do we
baby.
need zoning?
But
Free the chickens.
Yeah, that's right. But, folks, that's going to wrap up this show. Thanks for listening. We are going to go back at it again next week. We're going to be talking about how to better fund higher education here in South Carolina without student mitigation.
I think these NIL deals need to start paying the coaches too.
Hey, man, so let's talk a little bit of football real fast. Clemson, good this year?
Yeah, of course.
But realistically.
Yabbo dabbo do.
Okay.
Like, it's always
So
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
all I know is 17-14.
Why you want to bring up old stuff?
Why are you really doing that?
La Heisman. That's all I'm saying. All right. Thanks again for co-distributing, for providing the beverage that we enjoyed on this episode. Creature Comforts Brewing Company. Tropicalia IPA.
Hey, can't close out yet. You didn't answer about Gamecocks.
Decent little beer. 10-2, baby.
I actually don't think you're far off. I think Sellers will.
Whoa. Let's
I think Sellers will end up being one of the premier quarterbacks in the league.
let's preface it. Folks have got to stay healthy, right?
Correct.
But
It's not Gamecock's forte.
well, hey,
Maybe y'all should be paying an athletic trainer more. I'm just saying.
here we go. Maybe we can we'll call it student mitigation.
We'll fund
So,
that in.
We'll call, I'm going out on a limb. I'm going to say I am high on the Gamecocks this year. I think we did well in the transfer portal. I think Lenore Sellers is going to step up. The defense I don't think is going to be as good, but I don't think they're going to have to. Lenore Sellers gets better, cuts down on the turnovers.
You got Stewart.
Keeps us in games.
I mean, you got a Clowney type player there.
Make some plays. Hey, and that secondary, watch out. Especially later in the season when we get Clemson at home. So 10-2. Again,
I mean, you
look,
gonna have Klubnik a year older?
Look, we got 12 games, right? I think there's 3 guaranteed wins, right? There's 2 losses, 3 losses out there.
Citadel, SC State.
Hey, everything else is coin flips, man. I mean, seriously, we got A&M, we got Missouri, we got Oklahoma, we got Alabama, we got LSU at their place.
I think Alabama you struggle with, but I don't think that you struggle with the others. Depends on which roughs you get in LSU. Never know.
This is true. This is true. And if it's a night game, that crowd is lit. So.
Yeah, that might be a little tough.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. So
But
it just depends.
I do think that this will be one of the, and I don't think Clemson's undefeated going in. I don't think the Gamecocks are either, but I think this will be one of the higher times where both of us are ranked and playing for something of importance.
I think this is
I
going to
think it will
be
be one of the
remember
bigger
those
games.
years
And if that's
when
the
we had-
case, I'm not taking your tickets because every time I show up, Clemson loses.
Sorry, we've already
They're going.
But yeah,
I'll give them out to
I
somebody.
can literally see Clemson and Carolina both being 9-3, 10-2.
Yeah.
I think Clemson has a better shot at going 10-2, and that's not because they're a better program or a better team this year. I think it's just because they're playing a JV schedule. No offense, but I just don't think the competition is what it is in the SEC, and you guys would agree. So I think y'all have a better chance of getting into the playoffs.
We know them SEC teams really like to pay their coaches through the school funding, though.
Yeah, that you voted for. So hey, again, thanks for paying attention to this episode. Thanks for the 2 listeners, and thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week.
Have a good one.
Around, but Hollywood is just a wish away.